actually know a little bit about the People's Collection Wales? Oh, great, fantastic. I know I've spoken to a few of you over lunch, so that's really good. But as a website, it's a dynamic bilingual website for Welsh heritage. And Andrew wanted me to concentrate on the people today, and that's something that's very close to my heart, because up until a couple of weeks ago, I was the community engagement officer for the programme. And 2 weeks ago, I took over as the office manager, the unit manager. But hopefully, I'm still going to maintain my contact with the communities, because for me, I think that's the most important part about this website. One of my favourite quotes was by the Welsh historian John Davis, who, when he was asked to comment on the original website, he said in Welsh, but I'll say it in English, "We know enough about the bigwigs. Now it's time to learn about the people of Wales." And so I think, that's exactly what we're doing, the work that we're doing in the communities. And hopefully after today, some of you might want to get involved with the programme, and I can explain about all the services that we can offer you. Currently, there are over 47,000 images on the website. A lot of those images have been fed into the site by the 3 major institutions that are leading on this, and that is the National Museum, National Library of Wales, which is where my office is based, and the Royal Commission on the Ancient and Historic Monuments of Wales. But there is room for your collections as well. So community groups, history groups, individuals who have a story to tell their part in the bigger picture, the story of Wales, you can upload your images, and it's really easy to do that because it's a free online website that you can create your own account on, and I'll mention more about that a little bit later on. The project was funded by Welsh Government, and Ripple Effect are the communications agency that are now currently delivering the website, and they are doing some amazing work for us. We're in phase 1 of the refresh, and when we move into phase 2, we'll be looking at innovation, and I'm going to show you something quickly at the end that's happening at the National Museum up in Llanberis, which Renat Foster-Jones, who is our programme manager, is currently piloting there. And we're not sure where we're going to go with that, but it might be something that we can feed into the People's Collection Wales website. At the same time, if any of you have ideas that you'd like to see us implement, we'd be really happy to hear from you, because we want you to take ownership of this site as much as we are in delivering it. So anything that you'd like to see us develop, please let us know. And I've got my cards here, and I'm happy to meet with history groups, heritage societies, whatever. We can arrange meetings after today. Going back to the main idea behind my presentation today was to concentrate on the people. So I did a little bit of a search into the People's Collection Wales website, and I found this amazing photograph of the crowd outside the Victoria Park gates on the National Disestablishment Demonstration Day in Swansea on the 28th of May, 1912. I didn't know whether they were pro or anti the idea of the disestablishment. So I probed a little bit further to see where we'd actually got this photograph from, and it's from a collection of photographs about David Lloyd George in the National Library's collection. And amongst the information that it held, it actually said that he was pro because he actually played golf on a Sunday. And I thought that was quite funny, so I thought we'll put that in. So this is the home page. I don't know if you can see it clearer on the screens. So before coming today, and when I was preparing the PowerPoint, I put into the search box Treco Bay to see what I would find. And sadly, there are only 2 images, which means somebody in this area needs to create a collection of photographs pertinent to Treco Bay. The first one was the caravan site itself, and the second one showed a mother and her daughter, I presume, in a caravan on the site here. So I did another search, Port Cawl this time. Thankfully, loads more images came up this time, but I've gone for the one that contained the people, because I want to concentrate on the people of Wales today. And this is a lovely photograph. Let me see. It was uploaded by the South Wales Miners, their museum. So they have a number of images. I think I'd have to go into their count to see exactly, but this particular image has been viewed 198 times. One of the great features on the site now is the, it always has been there, the mapping, but I find it sells the site when we first, show the site to people. So I've zoomed in on Porthcawl, and we have this little feature on the right-hand side. I'm not sure if you can pick up the little blue box, which has got the historical maps. So I've just simply dropped down the first, I think it's 1822 map onto Porthcawl. And when we show this to people, you can actually zoom into street level, and people find it really fascinating going from this one to the current one to see how that area has grown. At the National Library at the moment, we're currently in the process of digitizing all the old tithe maps, and this should go live to the public sometime around September, October, and we'll be using an exercise to invite people to tell us the names of properties, fields, or whatever, so that we can fill in any of the missing information on the maps. And I think from October onwards, if I'm not mistaken, we should have that as an additional layer. So that's going to add to this feature. If you just go onto the People's Collection Wales website, casgadawerin.cymru.co.uk, as a first-time user, you will be able to see a lot of what I've just mentioned. But if you actually log in as a user, it's going to be far more advantageous to you because you can use the features then. I've logged in into my account here just to show you what I mean by that. You have notifications of people that have liked you or are following you, which is really good. I don't have any images of my own on the account. I have a lot of images that I want to upload, but sadly I don't have the time to do my own because I'm busy helping other groups do theirs. So what I did was to look at all the images within the site that were pertinent to food, because my background is in catering, as I was explaining to Andrew. So I was very interested in Welsh, the history and the culture of Welsh food. And within my favourites box, I think I have, I think it says there, 290 images, and none of them belong to me. But what I did was to create a collection then from those images, and believe it or not, my actual collection, which is live on the site, and if you type in food, glorious food, you will find my collection. It's actually been viewed over 800 times, and I promise you, I'm not the person that's viewed it 800 times, because I do show it at events. When I tour the whole of Wales, we cover the whole of Wales. We have to deliver all over Wales. And I think when we do tell people, they then go home and they like my collection and they add it to their own, which is really good. So this little box tells me Cyfarthfa Castle Museum and Art Gallery, Merthyr Tydfil, is now following me. The reason for that is because 3 of their staff attended one of our digital training days at the National Library, and I showed my collection, and then they went on. So it's really good, when you read who's following you. Track is now following me. Track were an organisation who gather information about folk music, and they came to an outreach day we did in Cardiff. And so they're now following me, which is great. So can you see how you can use this website for your benefit if you are a group or an organisation? And I'll explain more about the user profile page a little bit later on. So I've got 2 live items and 290 favourites, and my top viewed item is my collection, as I mentioned to you. In your user profile page, and this is where people go to if they like an image of yours and they want to find out more about the uploader. If you have a website already, we're not telling you to get rid of your website. We're telling you to use this platform, which is free, as an additional website to create traffic to your original. A good example of that was a gentleman I met in Merthyr Tydfil called Alan George, who has a website called Old Merthyr. In his website, he's got over 8,000 images. And Alan couldn't see the point of actually putting his images on the People's Collection Wales website as well. So we suggested that he just put a few images up, which he did. So he joined us in February of last year. I think he's got about 12, 14, 23 images on there. But now what he does, because his web address is included within his user profile page, that's created traffic to his website, which he finds amazing, because without that, how would people find out about his images? So we go back to our homepage, and this time I've typed in postcards from Louis, because I want to concentrate on the people. We've recently been working with a lady called Cheryl Beer, who's a singer-songwriter, and she was doing a project in Mynydd Mawr Home for the Elderly, and they specialise in Alzheimer's. And just as she had finished one project there, a lovely little lady called Louis grabbed Cheryl's hand and said, "Please, would you tell my story?" So Cheryl set about telling Louis' story, and we're so grateful because the family decided that they wanted to translate that story into Welsh, and it's now a multi-part item on our website, and you can now upload multi-part items yourself as well. So if you have a little booklet that you want to share, and I'm happy, I don't want to go over the time, but I'm happy to talk to people afterwards maybe about that. And within the concept of the book is this beautiful little page that shows Louis' story, her life story. She didn't have formal education. She's 92 now, but she remembers everything from her past, but she doesn't remember what she did yesterday. So she told Cheryl Beer all her stories, and Cheryl created songs out of those stories based on what she researched to be the best format, which happened to be nursery rhymes, so that all the patients and all the other people in the care home could learn these stories. But they drew a little path, if you like, a trail, following Louis' life path from where she lived to the Lammas Street Fair in Carmarthen. And they're really poignant and really lovely stories. And, you know, everybody's got a story to tell. And I'm hoping that after today, you're going to approach the more senior members in your communities and get them to share their stories. One of the things that we're also delivering is this concept of a digital heritage station. We've already got 3 in place in Dyfed. There's one at the Sunderland Trust in Pembroke Dock, one in Cardigan and one in Carmarthenshire. And basically all these is a place where there should be a laptop and a scanner and access to Wi-Fi, and of course the necessary staff to man them. We're looking to find funding to provide the equipment for you, or anybody who's interested in setting up a digital heritage station, because I feel if the website is to succeed, it's not going to do so on the small number of staff that are currently delivering it. So we need these little hubs all around Wales. And this is where you might be interested in formulating your own digital heritage station, where we would then come out and train the people that are your volunteers or staff. And we can offer a full day's training in digitizing. So we teach you important elements like copyright and metadata, how to create TIFF files, how to reformat those into JPEGs or whatever. And we would work very closely with your groups. And so if anybody's interested in that, do get in touch with me at the end. This brings me to the last thing that I want to highlight, and I apologize to Steve at the back, because I know he's not too keen on the technical side of things, but we're always open to... This is something that we're currently piloting at the museum up in Llanberis. It's iBeacons. I don't know if any of you have heard about iBeacons, but Renard Foster-Jones is very keen to look at anything new and innovative that comes our way in a digital way. They're working on this up there at the moment. Let's see if I can get to the place where I can show you the live film. I've also got the link where you can go and access Renard's PowerPoint presentation, where he gave a presentation about iBeacons and what that all entails, which includes this movie.